All right, today I'm going to talk about how you know if your blood needs to be nourished. So, we're not talking about it from a Western, but from an Eastern perspective, traditional Chinese medicine. So, if you have dry nails, hang nails, ridged nails, floaters in your eyes, if your hair is dry, if your skin feels really flat and kind of has no luster to it, if your skin in general is dry, if you are noticing you're getting cramps at night, like leg cramps, or if you get cramps a lot when you're exercising, if you have trouble falling asleep or kind of a really restless mind, all of this could mean that you need to nourish your blood. So, blood, we're not looking at it just from an iron level, but in Chinese medicine, which I've been practicing for the last 25 years plus, I think now, we look at blood as part of vitality. It's part of its nourishment, its suppleness in our body. It goes way beyond iron, as I said, but that can be part of it. So someone who's anemic may also have deficient blood. So it's considered vital for nourishing the body, also for calming the mind. It's important for hormonal health, especially for women. Blood building is really important if you're menstruating. If you're in perimenopause and you're having heavy menstruation, you're going to be losing a lot of blood. Postpartum, it can be really important as well. And if you're someone midlife and you have a lot of midlife transition symptoms, and this could be sweating at night, it could be hot flashes sometimes, it could be anxiety, restlessness. This could be a sign that your body's out of balance. And so, what I'm going to talk to you about today is a little bit about how to build the blood. So, I talked about some of the symptoms, but I'm going to give you some specific foods and ways to eat that are really going to be helpful for building your blood, which builds what I say is your radiance, because that's really what I work with women on is like how to become the most radiant version of yourself. And this is an inside out job, and it means supporting and tending to all of you. And that means living from your passion, being your authentic self. But it also means like making sure that you're nourished inside and that you have ample blood. Because when we have that blood, like enough blood in our system, we feel more resourced. We look more resourced. We're more nourished and we're more lubricated in some ways too. Great word. Anyway, so okay. So what does it mean? So, well, first and foremost, it's blood and chi go together. Most people have heard of like yin and yang or blood and chi. They're sort of two sides of the same coin. So chi is energy, smart energy, vitality, and blood is the nourishment. So it's the way we get minerals or vitamins and nourishment to our tendons, to our organs, to our body. We need chi to move the blood, but chi needs something to move. So they go hand in hand. And if one is weak, it will affect the other. So when we're looking at nourishing the blood, we also want to make sure that the chi is strong. And a big part of that is making sure that your digestive system is strong. So really, the only way we build energy and blood is by taking the food that we eat and digesting it, absorbing it, and turning it into blood and energy. And so, if our digestive system is weak, we're not absorbing properly. So, this could look like leaky gut, bloating after you eat, loose bowel movements. Could be that you're just not eating quality food as well. So anything like the bloating after you eat, looser stools, heavy sensation in your limbs, sometimes really foggy headedness, if you get congestion after you eat, these are all signs that you may need to work on strengthening that digestive system chi, spleen, stomach, pancreas in Chinese medicine, the chi. So simple ways that you do this, and I'll put some links for other videos too. Simple ways you do this is eat warm cooked foods, particularly in the colder months. But if you get any of those signs all the time, so soups are like one of the best. I'll put my favorite green soup recipe in the notes as well. You want to avoid excessive raw, cold, or damp producing foods. So what does that mean? Raw, it's that makes sense. Cold, that means like out of the fridge cold, frozen drinks, ice in our drinks. And damp producing foods, we look at foods as having not only nutritional value, but property. So damp can producing food would be like dairy products. They produce more mucus or that damp moistening component in the body. And if we're already having a digestive system that can't absorb that, that will make it worse. I'm not getting into that too much, but just as an idea. So also foods that like will produce that sugar. Smoothies are a huge culprit for this. So I know so many people just by changing out frozen smoothies in the morning, their digestion has improved tremendously. And switching it up for like what I like to call the warm smoothie or a pureed soup can make a huge difference, particularly in winter months. You want to eat regular meals and avoid overeating, so stuffing yourself more like that 70% full. And there's a saying we have in Chinese medicine, your stomach doesn't have teeth, so make sure you're chewing your food really mindfully. And that is the first stage of digestion, and that will help. Really simple things, but if you do those things, you're going to absorb better. And when you absorb better, you're going to build blood and you're going to build your chi better. But then when we're looking at specifically building blood, so like I said, some of the signs that you might be blood deficient, you're going to get ridges in your nails, hang nails, brittle nails. If you get those little floaters in your eyes, or you find that your eyes are really dry and you're constantly having to lubricate them, dry skin, cramps, particularly it might be at nighttime in your calves or in your body, or if you exercise, you get cramps a lot. That can be signs that the blood is deficient. If your mind can't settle, so sometimes anxiety can be a sign of blood deficiency. Or if you can't settle at nighttime, so you have trouble falling asleep, or if you get sweats throughout the night, sometimes that can be a sign of your blood being deficient. And I have a video on your tongue. I'm going to link it as well. But if you look at your tongue, because we say your tongue is your visible organ and it can tell us so much. I tell you, I can tell you so much about you. You just show me a picture of your tongue and I'm going to tell you what's going on. So if you have a tongue that is really, really pale, or the sides of the tongue are really pale, or sometimes they get even like an orangey color, that's a sign that your blood is deficient. So you think about blood, right? It's red in color. It gives us that glow in our cheeks, that skin that's got that sort of luminescent kind of, who doesn't want that, by the way, but that will show up our eyes, making sure that they have that brightness and that can see properly. And when I forgot what I was saying before, but there we go. Sometimes that's a sign of blood deficiency too. So when we want to make sure we're nourishing as well. So there's certain foods that are going to naturally build the blood. I'm going to give you both animal-based ones and plant-based ones. And it doesn't mean you have to have them all the time. For women that are menstruating, I'd say really focus on some of them around your menstruation and just after till day 10 to rebuild some of the blood you've lost. And if you're someone who has sort of chronically what you're recognizing some of the symptoms and you're deficient, you're going to want to infuse these into your everyday, not all the animal products all the time but mixing them up and having some of them. So animal products, red meat, liver, chicken or beef, really, really classic blood tonic. Bone marrow broths are really good, bone broth. Some of the darker poultry meats like duck or chicken, dark meat can be really helpful as well. And some shellfish, rich in minerals as well, but oysters, mussels, clams can be helpful. Plant-based builders, black beans are good, adzuki beans, dark leafy greens are amazing. So dark leafy greens, the actual structure of the chlorophyll-rich foods is the same as a red blood cell, minus the iron in the center. Blood cells have iron, dark leafy greens have a magnesium atom in the center. So when we eat dark leafy greens, it like literally builds our blood. So cooked, as I said, I'm going to put my green soup recipe in the notes, and that's one of my favorite. Beets, so good. We often say what does it look like? Beets look a little like blood if you're like juicing them. They're really nourishing. They are really helpful for building the blood. Also, dried goji berries, really good for building the blood and the yin, as well as dried apricots can be really helpful. Seaweeds, one of my personal favorite. They're super high in minerals, but they can be helpful for nourishing the blood as well as things that nourish the chi and that digestive system. So like sweet potato and carrots are really great as well. So any of the black short grain or sticky rices are really helpful. Like mochi is another thing that's helpful. Barley and quinoa helpful as well. And then we get into nuts and seeds like black sesame seeds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, Tahini is really good as well, and flax seeds can be helpful. And then from some other fruits, the dark berries, again, that dark colored, and cherries, really, really, really good. I heard that in, I think it's Poland, that after a woman gives birth, that they will feed her cherries to help replenish the blood that she's lost. Another great one, red grapes and pomegranates as well. There are lots of Chinese herbs that we use. So sometimes we'll infuse some of the herbs like dongui or something into a bone broth. And so that when you have the bone broth, you're getting that little extra juice in there. I often put like dongui or Chinese dates in my bone broth when I'm making that. And it just, you can put I always, whenever I'm cooking, I'm saving the ends of whatever vegetables I have and I put them in a bag in the freezer. And when I'm ready to make my bone broth, I dump all those in. So it might have beet tops or it might have little bits of beets if they're sort of getting a little bit softer. And so you can do things that add it in, and that's just going to extract way more nutrients into your bone broth as well. You can also put like goji berries and stuff in as well. So really important whenever you're building the blood, you also want to support the digestive system with all those warming regular foods. Hydration really important as well because we need, clean, mineral-rich water, broth, hydrating liquids is really important as well. And when you do all those things over time, you're going to be absorbing more, you're going to be nourishing your system, and you're going to build your blood. And things like those hangnails, the dry eyes, the dull skin, all of that is going to get better. So if you like this kind of content, please hit subscribe. I do holistic, natural, time-tested wisdom to help support women through transitions like perimenopause and menopause. And I bring in lots of fun science in that shows like this is why this ancient wisdom also works, how we show it in modern science as well. So happy to have you here, and send me your requests if you have requests. I always love doing videos that you need. So have a great day or evening, you radiant woman, because yeah, you're awesome. Okay, I'll see you next time.